Hello my beautiful beings and welcome back to my channel. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Sorry again for being off for a couple weeks. Things got a little busy. Got a little busy with the dog, but I'm back for another video this week. This video is going to be on this today. It's called the Perfect Line Lace Wig Grid Filler and Knot Eraser. I've been seeing this a lot in a lot of YouTubers' wig videos, and it's been kind of intriguing, so I figured I'd try it out too. A lot of people that I've been watching have been using darker shades. I haven't seen anybody use this nude shade yet, so I figured I would buy it and give it a shot and see if it's worth anybody's money. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This video is going to be a little bit of a shorter video today, just because I'm only trying and reviewing one product. So if this product is something that you have been seeing on your timeline and you're wondering if it's worth your money, I'm going to go ahead and do a review on it. So if this seems like something that is interesting to you, then stick along for the video. Okay, so the wig that I am going to be using today is just an older wig that I have that I keep putting powder and hairspray on, and it just keeps wiping off. As you can see, there's a little bit of residue left, but there's nothing in like the front of the hairline because it just keeps washing off. And they state with this, I think they stated like you can use it a few times before it washes away, and you can use it for like 15 washes. I'll put the description here on what it says. I'll put the picture here. And I'm also going to put the different shades that they have in this corner here as well. But I got the shade Nude. And it tells you that it looks darker in the tube right here than it will on the lace. It looks like 2 to 3 shades darker. But it comes like literally in this little deodorant tube, which is kind of nice. It's really easy to use. But here's the color as it looks in the tube. And it looks pretty close to my skin tone already in the tube, and it's supposed to be like 2 to 3 shades lighter than what it looks like in the tube. So it's definitely going to be a light enough shade for me, I think. We'll see when I put it on the wig. But it's really nice, just the compartment's really nice. It even has the ingredients on the back of the list, so you're able to see what all is inside of this little compartment. I've seen that a lot of YouTubers use their hair dryer to warm it up and then they apply it to the lace. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I noticed that you kind of have to keep the hairdryer on and keep heating up the product as you're working with it, or it dries out really easily and it's not as usable. And the stick, it doesn't glide on very well on the wig. You kind of have to put it on with the stick and then move it around with your hands, or it just doesn't glide very well. But that's how much I've gotten so far with being able to do that. So it is definitely work. It's not easy, but it does look like it's working. Like it's covering the knots really well. I can already tell from the side that it's definitely covering the knots on the other side, which is the purpose for this. And it's a wax base, so I think it's going to hold a lot better than a foundation or a concealer. But it's not as easy as it looked when other people were using it to put it on to the wig. And it does dry out really fast if you don't have a hairdryer on it. So I'm going to just keep continuing to use the hairdryer to warm it up and then put it on the lace of the wig, and I'll be back whenever I have it covered. Alright, I'm back, and this is what it's looking like. I did all of the front of the hairline, that way the front will look more realistic, and then I did where I usually part my wigs, that way it looks more realistic in the part as well. I didn't do the full amount of the lace, I just did areas where I would part it, that way I don't use up too much product, because you only get a certain amount of product on this. Let me see if they have it written on the bottle. It doesn't say so on the bottle. Again, I'll leave that in the corner over here, how much product you get. But you don't get a lot of product, like it's not a huge amount of product, so I didn't want to use all of it in like one go on one wig. I want to use it throughout a few wigs, that way it's worth the money I bought for me. But this is what it's looking like. It's not looking awful. It's a little patchy. I think that's just because I didn't have it heated up enough. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry overnight, and then I'll be back tomorrow morning and I'll put this on and we'll see how it looks. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so it is the next morning and we are just going to completely redo everything, because as I woke up this morning and I was looking at the wig, I really didn't like how it looked. This looks extremely patchy, which it didn't when they were doing the demos. When I flipped it around, it just looked really cakey and chunky, and like it didn't cover any of the knots. So I was doing some research this morning and they did a completely different way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try that way first before I even give a review, because I feel like I did it wrong. So I'm not gonna use a blow dryer. What I'm doing right now is I'm letting this sit in hot water. They said to let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just letting it sit. And I'm going to be using this wig, which again is an older wig. It is a side part. I just have it in the middle so I know exactly where I need to be putting this stuff on. So I'm going to let this sit and then we're going to try and apply it a different way. Okay, so I have let this sit in here for a while now. I probably would say that this took me like 5 minutes for it to start becoming more of like a melted consistency. As you can tell, like you can squeeze the bottle now and it kind of moves. So it's definitely pliable now. So I'm just going to, they said to go in an upward motion with this. So that's what I'm going to do. Just go up. And I think for this wig, I'm just going to do the part. They said not to really put too much along the front of the hairline, because then it can complicate like putting the wig on if you use glue. So I'm not going to do the front of the hairline like I did with the last wig. I'm just going to focus right on the parting. And they said not to put too much at the front of this parting where you have the glue. So I applied it and they said just smooth it down with the edge of the cap. So I'm applying it and now I'm just smoothing it all down. Just like that. And we applied it in an upward motion only, and then to smooth it all down, I go downwards with the cap. Alright. And as you can tell, let me just put this away. As you can tell, the application looks so much better than it did with what I did yesterday. It looks a lot smoother. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And even on this side it looks a lot better. They said when you flip it over to, I'm going to pin it down. They said when you flip it over to take the back of your comb and kind of blend it in and like press it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just blend it in. And I'm really just taking that and just moving it back and forth on the hair. just to make it look a little more realistic. And I'm going to keep doing that anywhere I see where the product is. Alright, now I'm just going to brush it. And I haven't styled this wig yet too, so it might look a little crazy right now. I'm just going to brush it out a little bit. Get all those hairs out of the way. And then I am going to take like a makeup wipe or some witch hazel, and I'm going to get rid of all the excess that is coming off. They said oil or witch hazel works best, so I'm going to go ahead and try that. I'm going to wipe that off camera, and then I'll be back. Alright, I'm back, and I just used a makeup wipe, and most of that came off just fine. So that's really nice, that's pretty convenient. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to heat this up, and I'm going to see if I can define my part a little bit better to make it look a little bit more realistic. Alright, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start defining my part out a little bit. Alright, and as you can see here, the part is looking like really good. I never have my parts look this light or look this concealed, which is really great. So far it's looking really good on the mannequin head I have. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this wig off, and then I'm going to put this one on, and we'll see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I am back, and now my wig is on, and I really like how it looks. The scalp looks a lot more realistic now. A little clip of how the wig that I was wearing looked, like the scalp of it before, because that's how I do all my wigs, like how realistic it looked. And it'll be versus this. Like, this looks so much better to me. It looks a lot more realistic. Like, I'm even pulling it all the way back here, and the parting still looks really good. It matches my skin tone pretty good too. I just added powder on the rest of my hairline, but I think the parting looks really good. The only thing I don't like is how cakey it looks at the front, but that's my own fault. That's more of a user error, because they said you don't want to use as much on the front of the part, and I accidentally used a little too much. I tried to get some of it off, so that is my fault. I'll probably try it again, and maybe on my Instagram or something I'll show some photos of a next wig that I do of how the front looks like. So, but this one is a little cakey, but that is my own fault. But yeah, I think other than that, it looks pretty good. I also will be putting up photos on my Instagram, so I'll put my Instagram right here, but I'll be putting up photos on my Instagram stories of when I wash this wig, and I'll do a few washes of this wig, how the hairline looks, because they said it's supposed to hold up for a few washes as well. That way I'll know if it's worth my money, because if it's just going to wash away within like one use, I'm just going to keep using my foundation. But I will leave updates on my Instagram. This is my final thoughts on the product. I think it's worth the money. Again, I'm going to try it a few times, and I will leave more details in my Instagram about how I feel about this. Maybe I'll even do another video after using the full amount of this and do another review. But for my first impressions, I definitely think it's worth the money. I think it's a lot easier to do than foundation and like powder and all that, and it takes a lot less time. But that is everything for me today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me with this video. And I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!